What up, YouTube? Mandy Hops here. How are you guys doing? So, my last video I told you about a couple girls' channels you guys should check out. I want to tell you about another guy's channel. You guys are gonna be like, what? It's weird, but it's not weird for me. It's called the Featureman, and I'll put his channel in the description box below. I've been watching him for at least a year. He was born in 1939, okay? He's 82, and I love old dudes. Like not like that, but like I've always been in the company of like old dudes, right? Especially now, because I always hung out with old dudes when I was young. Now, like the ones that are alive are as old as they get, right? I think it's because we all like to day drink, you know? I would fucking wake up and head to the bar in the morning, and I would hang out with all the old heads, right? And they'd go home and take a nap, and I'd take a nap, and then I'd go back to the bar. I don't know what they did afterwards. Maybe ate dinner, took another nap. And it's funny because like the meaner the old guys are and the grumpier, for some reason they love me. I'm the only one that can tolerate these old dudes, and I'm the only ones they F with. They will cuss everybody out, and they'll see me and be like, hey, sweetheart. Like, I used to drink with this old dude, Bob, who's now passed. And there was something about like Bob, when you saw him, like even in his 80s, like you could look at him, the way he was dressed, his little boots, like he wore boots almost like Timberlands, and he like had these like pants, and he like straight like rolled them up. Like it was very hot. Like you could tell that that dude back in the day was like hot as hell. Like even as an old man, like I don't even look at old men like that, but I was like, damn, Bob. And he had the best stories. Like only an old 80-year-old dude just be like, we knew this girl. Her name was Dirty Pants Marie. And like, they would tell me these stories all day, and I lived for them. Also, I was very close to my grandpas, but both my parents were the youngest of like a few siblings. So by the time they pumped me out, my grandpa's died young, you know, honey. And like my family, we live, we eat, we drink, we smoke, we do all that. Like I don't really know anybody that's a big worker outer. My dad was the biggest worker outer I knew back in the day. He used to do push-ups with me on his back. Now he has diabetes. And he likes to point out that it's nice that all three of his daughters are fatter than him at this point. Thanks, Dad. Mic drop. But anyway, this dude, the Featureman, has been in so many movies. I think he like aided in the production of The Twilight Zone. And here's why I like watching it. Like, so a lot of my grandparents kind of in a way raised me half the time, you know? So it's like, when my parents were out, cause like my parents were very young and very rich when they had me, like 23 and making $160,000 a year in the 80s. Okay. Lots of, you know, so like I spent a lot of time at grandma and grandpa's, and, like, I don't know, there's something comforting about like the frugalness of like old men. And plus like, dude, I wanted to write like videos on like how to survive when you're poor out here when I didn't have a job, dude. And my dad swears by, he lived on potatoes in college, and he did, like, dude, you know, I work with a lot of Asians, and I have for like ever. I've been the token white girl for, I don't know, like the last 6 years. All kinds of Asians from all over, which they are the best people to work with. They're hardest workers. They are the most underrated people, and they would take the shirts off their back to like help you. But they eat a lot of rice. I don't like rice. Sub in potatoes, like for the white people. Okay, like that's what I eat. A lot of potatoes. Like you can do so much with them. You know, it's like bubblegum. You can fry them, you can boil them, you can, yeah. So potatoes, bacon, eggs, cheese, tortillas, bread. Like, bro. And then like occasionally you work in a pepper or something. And pancake mix. Like, dude, a box of pancakes mix can last you for a year. All you need is water in a pan. That's all you need. I mean, preferably some syrup, but you know what I'm saying. So these people make Depression era meals. He does. But to me, it's not so weird because I grew up in the country. So, and my parents grew up poor, and their parents were in the Depression. So a lot of stuff they eat, I grew up eating, even though we were, I don't know. It was just weird. Like one day my dad came to my mom and was like, hey, you don't have to make homemade soap anymore. Like she was literally making our soap. And my dad was like, Rich, maybe that was the drugs. I don't know. She, like, we would eat fried bologna, you know, all that shit, all that country ass shit. And I don't know what it is about old people, but they love root beer. My grandpa owned a gas station. My grandma said they had like the first like actual like washer. It was either a washer or dryer in their little country town in DeSoto. Like they were the first ones to have one. And she used to talk about how they used to sit around the rug and listen to the radio and drink root beer. And then I met her brother, like my great grandpa's, like my grandma's brother. I met him and he'd always be like, come on down, I got plenty of root beer. I don't know what it is with old people and root beer, but this dude like raves about root beer. Old people love their root beer. It's like a staple. But I like to watch them make these meals because I'm poor right now. And inflation is going up and up and up. But dude, there is just something nostalgic about these like older people and their channels and their stories. And maybe it's because I miss my grandpa. This is my grandpa's, and it kind of like reminds me of them. But no, you guys should definitely check out their channel. Like check out Featureman's channel. Especially like right now, like, dude, he can teach you how to eat for $1 every day. And it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Deuces.